come in and play, talking trade outside. Might be something happening.
What are y'all talking?
So
Let me get in the mix. Let's do a triple. Let's do a three-way dance, man.
What are you in the market for?
Trying to drop. I'm trying to trade off Mark Cooper.
you're not man enough for this dance, buddy.
Alright, I can send off or receive Kerryon Johnson from you, Amari Cooper from you, and I'll send you a second round back.
I want your first one. No, I just gave you raise. I want a second back. I want a second.
You didn't give him those.
Well, I didn't, but he wants me.
Welcome to the Dynasty Wise Fantasy Football Podcast. This week we're going to be recapping the devastations and the losses and some of the wins that a lot of you guys had last week. It was an interesting week one. Week one's always interesting. You never know. I mean, typically the most predictable thing about week one in fantasy football is that it's unpredictable. So try to speculate the best we can, but it was very interesting. Like I said, we're going to recap a lot of those, some of the overperformers and underperformers. We're going to kind of take some shots at what we think is going to happen this week and maybe some of the games of the week. And we're actually going to touch on some sleepers we think are coming up as well, just to kind of keep an eye on those waiver wires and burn some tires and make some deals if you can. But I'm here today. Got to mention Grizzly Grease. This podcast is brought to you by Grizzly Grease, man. They are some awesome bearded products. We're definitely we'll talk about them in a little while. And of course, October 1st, Houston preeminence. But if you boys are ready, let's get in. I'm here with Clayton Moore.
Let's get in. I gotcha.
And Clayton was such a high scorer in the league this week.
And Mr. Chad White with the throwbacks.
Best scorer in the league this week.
Point
Half a point. Half a point.
But hey, man,
For anybody looking to our credibility, you are looking at our league's two high scores.
Yeah.
Here, giving me fantasy football.
Like a lot of you guys, a lot of you fantasy players out there, we're in multiple leagues, and we have one big one that we're the Dynasty Wise guys are all in, and it's pretty serious, pretty cutthroat, and there's been some wild bets. I'm sure you guys, if you haven't seen it yet, go to the commercial on YouTube. We made that ourselves. I don't know if you can tell, it was professionally done by the Dynasty Wise studio. But I lost the bet last year. That's why I
was going to say, how did you end up being?
I lost the bet, and I got tagged in the back by a couple of paintballs. So
Got him. I shot him.
So please check that out.
Pessy's getting tagged from the arms.
Noted.
Oh.
Wait,
already knew that.
Shit, it is Wednesday, isn't it?
Yes.
All right, so that's my day. All right. But leading off, guys, again, it was a very interesting week. I will touch base on the top of y'all's mind. Chad, I'll go to you first, man. Overperformers. Who do you feel typically, expectation-wise, who overperformed what you would really typically see?
Well, I think the first name that sticks out is Ryan Fitzpatrick.
No.
Fitzy.
The Amish rifle?
Yes. I know your brother over there in
It's
Tampa
magic.
Bay.
They come from the same Pennsylvania.
If anybody out there can honestly show me where they said Ryan Fitzpatrick was going to go off against the Saints and score as much as he did before that game started, please show me.
I would like to see documentation as well.
Being in Houston, we've all got to watch Fitzpatrick firsthand quite a bit.
Yeah.
He's a gamer. He goes out there and competes, man.
Yeah.
You wouldn't say that for Shaver Field.
No, I would. But no, yeah. I actually, in the couple leagues that I joined, which I should have checked before joining, they do a team defense. Yeah. Right. But anywho, I had the Saints defense. I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to get points going against the Bucks. Yeah, you got some points, all right. Negative.
Stand by 1 second.
But I still pulled off the victory, 1-3, even though they would make it time.
Yeah, it was fun Monday night, kind of watching those started over that high score.
I was actually trying to win because the guy I played ended up being the third highest scorer in our league.
I thought I had it until Peters at the end.
Yeah, Marcus Peters in that pick
You
six.
bastard.
Man.
Waiver wire pickup.
Waiver wire.
I picked him up. I dropped Glover Quinn, picked up Marcus Peters. Somehow he was out there, and the man ended up winning it for me. So
All right. Well, Clay, all right, let's go to Isaiah Crowell.
Yes.
Overperformer. I mean, he had a good week. I don't know if anyone really expected him to do as well as he did, but
It was a little bit of an unknown because we didn't really know what the Jets were going to be doing out there. And honestly, the Lions, I didn't expect that. But, I mean, that Jets defense. But, honestly, I think Crowell is going to be a solid option. I think with Darnold, you got a new one of the receivers. I think they got enough where he's not going to be your elite running back, but he could be your solid 8 to 10. I could see that range, 7 to 10.
You're looking at your RB2, maybe even higher than between flex.
Yeah,
and RB2?
yeah,
Okay.
somewhere around the flex, maybe RB2 bye week. Unless he outperforms because he has the potential and the talent.
Well, he's basically doing what he did in Cleveland, and he's a top 15 to 20 running back. He's probably going to be consistent. He may give you 8 points one game and 15 the next, but he's going to hit his average pretty much every game. Cleveland had a younger guy come in, and they thought Crowell was just going to lose the job, and he stuck with it. Him and Bilal Powell are going to probably split carries and whatnot, but if he's hot, I don't see why they're going to take him out of the game.
I was going to say, you hear Powell. Everybody's
I was big on Powell last year.
I
thought he was going to break out, and
he just fizzled.
He just didn't do anything, and I jumped off his bandwagon.
I guess hence why they picked up Crowell.
Yes.
It makes sense.
They've been going after running backs all offseason. They had Thomas Rawls in there. They had every time a semi-name running back hits the waiver wire, they're bringing him in for a workout.
I think it's a much better system for Crowell. I think he'll fit in there a little bit. And I know, Chad, you had mentioned Darnold, with everything going on over there. Now you had mentioned
kind of looking ahead. Darnold is one of my overperformers, but in a good way. So.
Yeah, I was going to say you were kind of mentioning that he was an overperformer, but not necessarily this week, but in general throughout the season. You think he's going to overachieve expectations? Sam
Darnold was my best quarterback coming out this year. I'm not unknown on that. I didn't think he was going to be the next Peyton Manning or whatnot, but I think he's better than Mariota. I think he's better than Bortles. I think, better than Winston.
Yeah.
All those guys who are similar picks and whatnot. And I think he's got a lot more talent than all those guys put together. And every Jets fan up at that first drive of the game, first play where he throws pick six, we're probably just like, oh, my God, what do we do? But, the guy came back and he just destroyed that Detroit Lions defense.
And you and Clay, you had mentioned over, being a gamer. Khalil Mack, moving teams and coming out and just wrecking shop. Well, did you expect that going into this week? Especially for your IDP players. I know Khalil Mack, he's on a lot of the rosters. I don't know who started him, but he should have been, obviously. But did you see him doing the damage he did?
Well, I figured he'd come and have a decent game, but you got to take into consideration some of the damage he did. Like the pick six was when Aaron Rodgers was out. Another sack I think was when Rodgers. But I still expected him to have a start in my IDP and have me double-digit points for sure. So that's why I could see the overperformance because those points, that's not going to be an every week occurrence, But I thought he was going to come out and kind of prove something, let Oakland know, and looked like Oakland could have used some pass rush the other night.
A little bit. And,
and especially that being Gruden's forte is that defensive line and that offensive line. He's he's an in the trenches coaches. What he did it in Tampa and Oakland previously, and to me, I'd have thought Khalil Mack was going to be just that beast he used like Derrick Brooks and Warren Sapp. And,
and him landing over there when I saw and I saw Roquan Smith come in the game. I honestly, I got excited because that's a nasty.
Leonard Floyd, Raekwon Smith, and Khalil Mack.
Good Lord,
that's a linebacking core right there.
And they're young. They're all young.
Yeah, none of them.
That's. You're looking at the next 5-6 years minimum if they play their cards right now.
Well, I know Floyd just got a contract, and the Max big contract, and the rookie. At
Roquan
least the next 5 years with those guys.
Roquan finally signed his. Now, what scares me a lot of times though is the underperformers. Because a lot of those guys, you have these high expectations, and the first one I want to touch base and go to you guys on and is Amari Cooper, and Chad, I know you have a colleague that asked a question on it. I'll go to you. I have him on my team, and I was asked the question multiple times because they had the same matchup: Golden Tate or Amari Cooper, Golden Tate or Amari Cooper. I sat Amari Cooper. I sat him, and I started Golden Tate, and that's what I recommended to everybody else, and obviously it worked out, but I just wasn't feeling it from Amari Cooper. Chad, is this a one-off to you? Do you think he's going to be okay through the season?
Man.
I know it's week
Amari
one.
Cooper, he's that.
I get it.
Well, no, not even that, because this goes back into last year.
Yep.
Michael Crabtree was the best receiver on that team last year, and that should not happen with Amari Cooper there.
No.
All credit to Michael Crabtree, but he's older. He's not as not as spry, and he's just not the talent either. I don't know what to read on Amari Cooper yet, other than at worst he's still going to be a wide receiver 2.
Yeah.
The guy is not devoid of talent. All of a sudden, he still makes he's just not that top 6, 7, 8, 9 wide receiver. He hadn't been, and he hadn't been for 3/4 of a season, half season now. So I still think it's too early to give up on the guy. There might be something behind the scenes we don't know about, injury nagging, personal something.
Right.
Who knows? And it could just be the scheme with Gruden, the scheme last year. Quarterbacks, is Derek Carr as great as people think Derek Carr is? Or, we don't know how accurate these throws are and what's behind the scenes. So hold off on dumping Amari Cooper just yet.
Right.
But, have your backup plans ready. Sell high if you need to.
I got you. And Clay, when they brought in Jordy Nelson, did you feel like that was just to have other options, or do you feel like because they weren't sold on what they had seen in Amari Cooper since his
I feel like it was other options, and I feel like it would help Amari, get back to his form. But we have to take into consideration that Rams defense is tough.
It is, and that's my main factor of why I didn't start him. It's a nasty defense, and I didn't feel comfortable starting him. But that's what I'm saying. But like Chad had mentioned, he's kind of been falling off, and and I guess and that rolls into like someone like Derrick Henry as well, because Derrick Henry, he's essentially they obviously they brought on Deion Lewis too, but. I don't think they were. It's that 1-2 punch combination, but
Cooper had 2 good years of production, where
that's true.
Henry hasn't done anything.
That's a true debate. Because he had DeMarco Murray was overshadowed, and then DeMarco Murray was he's gone.
You think hey,
here's the keys, buddy.
Here's Henry, and then all of a sudden here comes Deion Lewis, who just had the best year of his career.
Yeah,
and
that's
he's
not
the
a
guy
good.
there.
To me, that's not a good look.
I have no problem with it. Deion Lewis has been a great pick for me. I love having him on my team.
From a Derrick Henry standpoint, you got to look at that as all right. They're not sold on me.
He could honestly, if he has another year like he's been having, he could not be in Tennessee next year.
Right.
Honestly.
And
he's fresh. They haven't used him much, and I don't understand why you took him in the second round not to give him the opportunity to produce at the level. He's built like that dude. He's a freak athlete.
He should be mowing them down.
Yes.
Yep.
Put him on my team. He's running the ball 25 times, and I bet you those last few carries, those are the ones where he wears them down in the fourth quarter, breaks them off. That's what you do with the Derrick Henry.
He's on the wrong team for that.
Yeah.
He is.
Tennessee's not a team that can do that right now. Maybe if they were fully healthy and, Rashard Matthews was going strong, Corey Davis was going strong, and Mariota was slinging around, they're deep. But no, they've got injury concerns, and they're going to be down in games and not running the ball a lot. And when they do have a running back in there, it's going to be Lewis because he's the better pass catcher. So, I don't see where Derrick Henry is going to do anything more than what he's done. It surprised me, but I just don't see it.
Right, and I guess what surprised me too was over in Kansas City. Everybody obviously we had Kareem Hunt didn't he underperformed this week, and Travis Kelce underperformed. Which Travis Kelce I want to touch on because Tyreek Hill was just crushing him. The guy was just an animal.
You can't teach speed, and that guy's the fastest guy in the NFL.
And not only that, he knows how to use the speed.
Oh, yeah.
That's a thing. But Kelce's he's a player, but he just didn't get the action. Obviously, in my eyes, I think he just underperformed this week, and I think he's going to get his piece of the pie. But it's going to.
Well, let me ask you: how much do you think the quarterback change has something to do with that? Alex Smith likes his tight ends.
Yeah.
Pat Mahomes is a whole new ballgame.
Yeah, Mahomes wants to sling it deep, but I don't know how many times I can say it. Week 1.
Yeah.
I can't put a lot of stock in waiver wire people dropping some of the trades going on for these guys that were still on the waivers until they just picked them up. They're all freaking out. It's week 1. These guys, they don't play a lot of preseason.
Kareem Hunt sucks. I'm dropping him. Picking up TJ Yeldon.
No, actually, I think I saw that one. Actually,
I wouldn't doubt it.
I was like, no way. You got this is the long haul.
Do you even fantasy, bro?
Yeah.
Do you fantasy, bro?
So that's how I say it's week 1. You get a couple weeks, and then you'll see the norm come back.
DFS, I'm cool. I get it. But you paid a lot for Kareem Hunt to do something this week, and it didn't work out for you. I get it. It happens. Yeah. But for those of you that paid low on Ryan Fitzpatrick, because you had to, it paid off. But
we all have that. We all had guys who didn't. If your whole team scored perfect and you did the perfect lineup, kudos to you. But I mean, it's not something you're going to do every week. None of us do. And I'm not giving up on anybody week one.
Yeah,
no,
me neither.
No.
And especially in the dynasty.
I don't give up on anybody before the trade deadline. The trade deadline is when, all right, I'm gonna try to move some people.
So yeah, it's just one of those. Any of these guys we're talking about, with the exception of some of them, like these guys coming out of nowhere, like a Fitzpatrick, and they can. Nobody was starting them week one.
Against the Saints defense, nobody had.
No, nobody had. But what does scare me though in week one is injuries.
Yes,
because this is when you don't want those nagging injuries to start now. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers got hurt, went out, got some go pills from coach, and came back in and had to come back.
That's a scary situation. Without Aaron Rodgers, they are in a world of hurt.
They are.
He's practicing. I know that.
Yeah, but the way he was limping like that, a few hits throughout the year, like
maybe it's just a sprain and he's going to nurse it. I mean, that's what I think. Obviously, if he tore something, there's no way he's back in that game.
Well, and the other, like Roethlisberger's hurt. He sat out practice. Today.
Yeah.
There was one other quarterback that went out of the game. Mariota, I think.
Yeah, he's banged up. He's
out of
questionable.
practice today.
What's new?
Blaine. Hey, in Blaine Gabbert we trust. I guess in
right.
Tennessee. But
Bills made a quarterback change. Josh Allen's going to get the start.
Yeah.
Well, they are actually playing a quarterback now. The guy Peterman, man. God.
Yeah, I got Josh on my practice squad or my taxi squad. I wasn't planning on. I mean, I'm
we'll
okay
see if
for
he's
now.
much better, but
yeah, I'm not gonna. It's not like hey, I'm gonna go and give him a start.
Yeah.
That's not happening. But but someone like Luke Kuechly going down for the it just
he's questionable. He's
questionable.
not out.
But that's what my fear though is especially for IDP is those nagging injuries.
That's why you gotta have depth.
Yeah, I mean,
depth is what winners.
Yeah.
Defense and depth is what wins championships.
Yeah, that's exactly it, and that's where we got to preach that because a lot of people, your first 3 rounds, it's great to pick up those names.
Mm-hmm.
You love picking up the David Johnson that happened last year. But if you had depth and you planned on something like because injuries happen at any time, and you don't want to be having to trade when you don't want to trade or drop when you have to drop.
Speaking of depth, I did a draft in a league. Last Saturday, right before the opening week or whatever, the first. And I took Le'Veon Bell. I had the 3rd or 4th pick. And I was like, all right, I'll take Le'Veon Bell. Yeah, he's holding out now. But so in the 2nd round, I took Dalvin Cook. And then the 3rd round, I took Devonta Freeman. So I took care of my depth. Because then later on, I added some rookie running backs, Rashad Penny and Kerryon Johnson.
That's knowing value.
Yeah.
I mean, was it a dynasty league or was it a redraft?
It's a redraft mega league.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I mean, you obviously went into that draft, knowing where talent was late that shouldn't be there. Devontae Freeman has no business in the 3rd round.
Yeah. The key to those drafts are like startup drafts or your redraft leagues. Yeah, that first 2 rounds, that's your big names, but that's not where you're gonna win your league. You're gonna win in those middle to late rounds where you're getting your value. Because you do your research, and
that's you're exactly right. Because when you go on your run in weeks, that's where you want to hit your run is week 7, 8. Now, obviously, you want to win up until that point, but that's where you can hit your run to get you the playoff push.
That's why I'm hoping Bell comes back in time for playoffs, and then
I'm calling week 5 maybe
game changer right there.
Between week 5 and 6 somewhere.
I got you. Well, Greg Olson, foot.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yep.
Well, luckily, I have Evan Ingram also, but Greg Olson was still my solid guy, and same foot as he hurt last year. They're not putting him on IR right away, which is another thing y'all got to kind of watch out for out there. If they're just going to keep him week to week to week for 6 weeks, so they don't have to sit him out for 8.
Yeah, that's a roster
that
spot.
Sucks because I can't put him in my IR. You can't drop him because he still has a lot of value. So I'm just fortunate that I do have a little flexibility. I went out and picked up a Ben Watson, which in Dynasty, not great. He's going to get some points, but he's 40 years old.
He'll get you through this year. But that's what I say.
Right. He's my backup.
Quarterbacks,
a bye week guy.
Quarterbacks, tight ends, and linebackers, you can usually play a little bit longer. You get a little, longevity in their careers. But speaking of tight, you got Delaney Walker going down. That was a nasty.
So Mariota, Walker, Matthews.
And Derrick Henry's underperforming.
Derrick Henry can't find touches somehow.
But I like Jonnu Smith. So, I predicted him to have a decent year, even though, Delaney Walker is a Pro Bowl tight end, but he's getting long in the tooth regardless of extension. So, I think this is actually the perfect time. Jonnu Smith is really talented, but Mariota being injured, I don't know how that'll work. He'll be in and out. There's always something up with that guy. But the tight end, I think that's a pick. That's waiver wire. I haven't seen a lot of people talking about Jonnu Smith.
And it's in the almost a mirrored situation. Ian Thomas in Carolina backing up Greg Olsen is the guy there now.
Because Cam loves his tight ends.
Yeah, and so Ian Thomas is a good. If you didn't draft him in your rookie league for dynasty people, and if you're in redrafts and never heard of the guy, Ian Thomas is gonna score some points. He may not be elite, but the guy's going to be at least a top 15 tight end.
And and that's it too.
At least.
And even if you pick him up and he rides your bench for a little while, it's good to have him because he's going to be. I believe he's going to be.
And he's got talent. I mean, he's a good tight end.
Is he a flex?
Yes, with Olsen out, definitely.
I like that. Good
he's gonna take Olsen's points. I mean, he's got maybe not. 10 points a game. He'll do 8 points a game, but it's going to be close.
But I think that whole offensive without Olsen changes, and I think maybe the emergence of the DJ Moore now. We didn't see much of him from week 1, but now he'll be incorporated more because the dude's talented for sure. And Ian Thomas might not have the rapport with Newton yet. And I think you might see Newton run a little bit more because his safety blanket of Olsen's gone.
Well, and even if he doesn't run, they still have C.J. Anderson and Chris McCaffrey to work that load. Yeah. And, I mean, that's two really, really good running backs.
Carolina's a team to watch, man. Especially,
their secondary is questionable.
But they've got that high.
Their defense is old.
But they've got that high octane offense, man. And Kuechly going, he's going to be questionable. I get it, but hopefully that injury just stays as questionable.
Yeah.
For IDP players because that guy's a tackling machine. He'll get you your tackles.
And I can never believe in Cam Newton after that performance he had in the Super Bowl where he basically just gave up on the field. I mean, that guy's not going to win championships.
How can anybody play for him? That's my quarterback. But
when it comes to fantasy, he's one of the top quarterbacks the last 5 years because he likes to run the ball.
But the thing with Newton, I have him now because I need the quarterback, but he won't perform. It's like he'll have these low games, and then he gets his points because he'll go for 30 or 40. Mm-hmm. Then go back to 10 to 12, and then 30. So that's why.
Have a game with a 60-yard run and a touchdown that just gave him an extra 12 points that he would never get.
Right.
We'll come back to this in a minute. We gotta go to our sponsors real quick. This Dynasty Wise Fantasy Football Podcast is brought to you by Grizzly Grease. They're awesome products out there. Especially if you have a beard, take care of it, man. Get balm, look balm. I mean, it's a great products over there, the oils and the balms and everything like that. Clayton's tried out a couple. I'm actually growing my beard out. I want to try a couple. I want to get maybe another.
I've been using the oil and stuff.
Have you? Like it?
Yeah, it's pretty good, man. It's the bomb. I even got my beard trimmed up, shaped up, looking fresh.
I'm trying to grow mine out so I can join the party here.
Welcome to the party, pal. But, like I said, Grizzly Grease over there doing some great things. We appreciate you guys and supporting small business. They're over there in Old Town Spring, and I believe Brian is probably flashing the website as we're speaking. I believe it's grizzlygrease.com. If not, he is now.
Woo!
Thank you, Brian. Brian being on point. Thank you, Mr. Brian.
Right.
And, of course, we also have to mention Houston Preeminence. Exciting things happening over there. October 1st is the website launch. They're Houston sports done by Houstonians. Dynasty Wise is joining up on that team, and it's exciting. And we hope to see some of you guys out there. And we have more live events coming up as we speak. Rolling back in, Corey Coleman. We got to talk about Corey Coleman.
Corey Coleman
going to the New England Patriots.
Sick him.
That's
for you, Diana.
I got something for Corey.
Uh-oh.
So I actually acquired him in a trade. Yeah, he was a smaller piece in a trade with in our league, and I was like, okay, young receiver, maybe he'll grow, whatever. It didn't work out.
Not yet.
And I even made the comment. I was like, I kind of want to hold on to him, so maybe he might get scooped up by the Patriots. I made it to somebody, and
Patriots farming everybody. Right?
But when it came down to it, I had to cut him off the roster because he didn't have a team, and I need players that are going to play for me. And now that he's in New England, I'm not going to rush to go get him. If you got a deep bench with a deep roster spot, sure.
Taxi squad.
But but you got to see what he's going to, you know what I mean? Like, just because he goes to New England and they need a receiver, that don't mean he's going to perform.
I mean, and I agree with that. Go ahead, Chad.
What I was going to say on that is a lot of, I think, Corey Coleman's on-the-field issues stem from him and his character off the field. I hear a lot, different places but this guy's just not the best influence off the
Yeah.
field,
Yeah.
in that he's
You
a
can't
troublemaker.
Can't be a cancer, man.
You know,
If
and
you're-
I think that was his problem in Cleveland. The guys didn't like him in Cleveland. I don't
think
know what
that's-
happened in Buffalo, but New England has a way to bring in the Mosses, the TOs, the attitude guys.
We'll see.
Rein
Make
in.
them just another guy. Corey Coleman's got the talent.
Yeah.
The ability's there.
And
So if you can't do it in New England, where's he going to do it?
And that's where they. I mean, that's the Patriots. You know, that's the way they operate. This is your role. This is what you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
You step out of line. I mean, that's
You're-
it. We will cut
Are
you.
you
We'll
Tom
bench you.
Brady? No. Okay, then you don't matter.
Yeah, that's exactly. Look, I mean, they got rid of Wes Welker, no
Yeah,
problem.
I think
a lot of guys.
Yeah,
Coleman's who Landry was talking about in that speech with that with that weak bitch mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was directed at
Yeah.
Corey Coleman because right after that, Corey Coleman was traded away.
they're not playing. I mean, and that's exactly you. If you're not going to perform on the field, they can deal with some of that crap in the locker room. If you're performing on the field, they can
I'm
tolerate some
I'm
of it.
sure there's
But-
hundreds of guys around the league that are kind of the same way.
Yeah,
but
but if you're not gonna perform on the field and be a cancer in the locker room, they don't need you. I mean,
Yeah.
and I mean from a fantasy standpoint,
you got to put up OBJ numbers
Yeah.
to be OBJ. In the
right?
locker.
I would love to be able to buy low on Corey Coleman. I'd love to be able to pick him up, put him on my bench, and but to me that's a bench spot where I could pick up some of the players we had mentioned, some of the tight ends that are out there that are going to get the starts. I mean, Corey Coleman
Or there's a lot of other wide receivers out there that are more talented production wise right now that nobody's even thinking about.
Yeah, I'd rather pick up some young rookie or second year player who's on a team, still out there that might have a chance before I pick up Corey Coleman.
I got you. And now as we roll into that, Clayton, you had a good remark you made, and I'll let you say it yourself. But talking about week one, if
Yeah.
bust players, I'll let you go ahead and take that because I saw it, and when you said it in our group text,
Yeah.
that's getting said.
Week one is week one. Like anything can happen. I don't put a lot of stock into what happens week one because some of those guys that performed or that everybody's running to the waiver wire for because they think they're going to be something, they're not. Your studs that didn't perform, they don't mean they're duds. Kareem Hunt is not a dud all of a sudden. So if you want to go ahead and salvage your year and your team, go right ahead. But it's week one. These guys don't play a lot in the preseason, so they're still knocking the rust off as well. So
And I want
take that into consideration.
I wanted to add a caveat to that. And just because one of your players or two of your players went off, doesn't necessarily mean they're going to do it again. I'm not saying they won't. Hey, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I'd love for your player to come in and get you 22 points, average 22 points a week, because I can almost.
Wouldn't we all?
Yeah, but I'll keep that in mind as you look into the defense, how they
Watch the
perform.
matchups.
Yeah,
Don't be fooled by their name alone.
Yeah.
Good defenses are good defenses no matter who you are.
With this in mind, we had a question come in from listener Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
Jeff.
It says,
I
does
don't like
Crab
Jeff.
Leg Winston lose his job to face Match?
That's a
I think both of them lose their job to whoever they draft a quarterback next year.
That's a decent little take. But that's a good question. Thank you, Jeff. If Fitzpatrick can continue to do, if he gives us, I would say if he gives them 2 to 3 solid weeks of it, they're going to keep him in. Why mess with it if it's not broken? Don't fix it.
They went and got him for a reason.
Yeah.
They got rid of crappy Mike Glennon.
Yeah.
And brought him in, and
Yeah.
they re-signed him again this year.
Because they
There's
know
a reason.
Winston's going to miss games because he can't keep it together off the field.
Yep.
And he's not going to be Fitzpatrick's not going to be a superstar week to week, but he's going to go in there and lead your team and make minimal mistakes.
They've got decent running game. They've got some good receivers over there. I mean, they've got some tools over there. The defense isn't too shabby.
No, the defense is pretty good. I mean, now they've got some injury problems in the secondary.
They
right
do.
Now. Hargraves
Yeah,
is
yeah.
out. Grimes is out.
And on that, I mean, I'm not looking for Fitzpatrick to do what he did last week every week, but the guys, give me 250 yards, 2 to 3 passing touchdowns. I mean,
Don't turn the ball over.
That's it. And ball control,
damn.
he'll do just fine.
Which he can do as long as he's not getting killed out there.
Yeah.
A lot
Yeah.
of pressure like he did in Houston. That's when he had his problems in Houston. Is when he's just couldn't stand up.
That's when the carousel of quarterbacks happen. Is when no quarterback could survive in that. I mean, I'm not giving the quarterbacks that bitched and complained about it. I'm not giving them an excuse. But
we love you, David Carr.
Hey man, he's been.
Dude, he got his brains bashed
yeah.
in.
Yeah. And I honestly, I know.
If he wasn't a millionaire, I'd feel bad for him.
McLeroy has been talking about that for a long time, man, and he brings up valid points. If you would have given him a line, I think he would have flourished.
Well, they tried to with Tony Baselli and his no knees, and you know.
I don't know who
They tried to
McLeroy
Band-Aid
is.
fix it.
I don't know who McLeroy is. Is that the guy that slipped and fell in the shower with Joe?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Jeff.
In his football team named Jugglenuts.
Jugglenuts. Nailed it. Well, all right. Well, do we have any more Q&A since we're on that, man? You got another one?
What the?
No?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brian.
No?
What do you got?
We don't have any coming in live, but we
Okay.
did get one sent in.
Okay.
It says, any advice on which defense to start, Philly or Houston?
Not just because I'm a homer, but I'm going Houston. Mariota's banged up. Houston always plays well against Tennessee. Division game. I'm starting the Houston defense.
100%, especially when Philly's going to aforementioned Tampa Bay, who just put up
Yeah.
a boatload of points on New Orleans. So even if you're a lot better than that New Orleans defense, they still have an offense.
Yeah, which New Orleans defense isn't too shabby.
So give me Houston with this depleted Tennessee team we've been talking about, rather than the Tampa Bay team who's going
Right.
off the charts.
But here, this is an example of the week one. This could actually be the week where Tampa falls back to earth and they're garbage.
I
what
totally
mean?
expect them to.
Yeah, that's what
I
I'm
totally
saying.
expect them
So honestly, if that's your decision, Philly or Houston, there's not really a wrong decision. In my opinion, I think either one of those you start, you're going to get solid
I
points.
would only disagree because of the massive amounts of injuries to Tennessee's offense right now. That's the only reason I would
Well,
disagree.
yeah.
Any other time, yeah. But I mean, you don't know if Mariota's playing. You already know Walker's not playing. Your wide receivers are banked. Henry sucks.
I'm expecting Houston to get after the quarterback more this
Yeah.
week. I mean, they're not facing New England, who they've built that line to protect Tom Brady.
Well,
and
they get to hold a lot, too.
They do. Oh, there was some obvious face
Yeah,
mask,
but
and hands to
apparently-
face. But I'm expecting them to. I would expect honestly a pick six this week.
Clown and Watt are going to go off.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, they've got. I mean, there's
This is
definitely they built
this is
for
their
it.
coming out party for
Yep.
2018 this week in this team.
I think it's highly possible. I mean, I'd like to see at least a sack each.
Little merciless.
They may be able to double up on that line.
6-7 sacks between everybody on that
A
team.
few- a
it's
few
possible.
few stuff.
Merciless and
Tackles for loss, a few
McKinney
stuff.
and-
Yep.
Yeah.
They're getting her downright nasty.
Yes, for sure. So, yeah, Houston would definitely be the play, in my opinion. Even
Yeah.
if Mariota starts, he's not any good.
Brian,
You didn't have to go that far. That's my quarterback.
Yeah, and you keep winning when he gets you like 4 points or negative
That's
points.
fine.
Hey,
I don't
need a
understand.
star quarterback.
And don't you have Winston as
Hey,
well?
your belt doesn't matter anymore. You're looking at the guys who scored higher than you this week. So
Hey, do you know that I've gotten in the playoffs barely every year I've won a championship?
Yeah, he
Barely.
It's-
he
it's
squeaks
horrible.
I
in.
want to say your first one, you knocked me out in that.
it's horse shit. Every year.
It's
He's sucking some fantasy god wiener.
hey, don't tell my secrets.
Hey,
Hey,
but
listener,
work.
He just
Jeff
wants
sent
in.
in another question.
What do we got?
He said Jack Doyle or Eric Ebron for tight end in Indy.
Ebron.
Ebron.
I'm not even an
Is there
Ebron
choice
fan.
C, please.
Yeah.
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 Is there a choice? Who was this from?
Jeff.
But
Thank you,
Ebron,
Jeff.
I
Appreciate
think
it.
him with luck, that's pretty good. I don't think Doyle's really all that. So, yeah, I'll take Ebron.
No, I was hoping more out of Jack Doyle. I really was, man. I had higher expectations. but-
Man,
Same as Jack Doyle. What
I-
were
dude-
you expecting?
Doyle rules.
I mean, I was expecting it, man. Doyle, man.
No, they're your 6 point a game tight ends, 5
Yeah.
point a game tight. I mean, neither one. They're both average.
They're great for bye week, man. If you got
Basically.
you got to get through a bye week, and you just
Basically.
need a few points. You know.
I hate the fact that old Swope down there in Indy kind of got hurt and forgotten about. I thought he was really a potential
Yep.
Yeah.
big time target for a luck.
Injuries will
type of quarterback.
derail you real quick.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, they will. Yeah.
Real quick.
Yes.
Chad, Gavin wants to know, how does a 9-year-old get a fantasy team?
Have a cool stepdad or dad or mom who likes to play fantasy football and get a little like family league started maybe first, and then kind of venture out from there.
There you go, Gavin.
That's awesome. Thank you, Gavin.
but
Good
if
question,
Chad's your
buddy.
stepdad, go find someone else for info.
I actually kind of would like to bring some 9-year-olds on the podcast and see how well their fantasy takes would go,
Oh, that would be
and compared to some of us experts here. I
That'd
think
be-
we could get a
that'd be
little
great.
get a kick out of that.
Yeah, get the. Speaking of family,
Gavin,
get the
keep reading
family
up, bud.
involvement. Yeah, thanks, Gavin. Good question, buddy. Thank you, man. Hey, getting fantasy early, man. I started when I was 15. This is what I'm doing now.
Isn't it your bedtime, Gavin? It's 8:40.
Oh,
You're 9. Go to
Gavin.
bed.
I think I met you when you were 15.
I think so.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
I've got some weird, long-lasting relationships. I just don't know when to cut them loose. You know.
Lovers.
I'm just gonna do this for 20 years and let it end violently.
Yeah.
All right.
What do you got, Brian?
AP, Hyde, and Cup.
In
What are we?
in a flex spot.
Oh, AP all the way.
AP Hyde.
AP.
I like Hyde here.
Yeah, Hyde produced well. They all actually had good week ones, but
those damn flies.
I think it's
Gun
coming.
to your head right now. Who's going to score the most points next week? I'm going to say Peterson.
Yeah, I think so. He's their starting running back. They're going to feed him. So yeah, I think it's between AP and Hyde.
I still got to go with Hyde on it. I think AP. But see, AP did this
Do
to
you
us
still
last
have
year.
Hyde on your team?
I do. But I had AP.
Bias opinion, people.
No, it's
I got
not.
Hyde.
Yeah, you held on to AP forever.
Well, hey, honestly, no, I benched him, and then he went off in St. Louis, or with the Cards that
like, I
week.
need
Got
him
up like got 25
You're like,
points.
he's
Yeah, I was pumped, but I did hang on to him after the injury, and he went off that year. I mean, he had a career injury, career year, but
That's true.
It's AP.
True.
it is. Hey, dude, he can break it off at any time, man.
All day.
He was made
Yeah.
in Texas. That's why you know he's such a badass.
That guy's an animal. I still respect him. I saw something the other
He'll
day
whoop
though.
your ass with a switch.
I gotta say the funniest team name I've seen this year was AP's Daycare. I was like, God, man, that's brutal. But it was a funny one. I got to give him credit. I don't know where it was.
That or
but-
his giving tree.
Oh,
AP's discipline.
yeah, nice.
Nice.
All right. Next question is.
Let's roll.
By the way, we do not condone that here.
We do
Just
not.
a
It's just
precursor.
we're making humor of something that
Or do we?
unfortunate. Oh, not a switch,
No switch.
Brian.
Yeah, we'll get off that subject. Le'Veon Bell is probably going to get traded. What team do you think he'll be traded to?
Who says who?
It does. It was just a general.
Le'Veon
question.
Bell is not getting traded.
You don't think so?
No.
I don't know who would trade for him.
Let's say he
because-
does. Let's say he does get traded. Let's go full hypothetical on it and have fun with it.
It already happened. Not happening now. He'll sit out his weeks. He's done it before. He's got no problem doing it. He'll miss a couple games. He'll be fresh, come back, and that team's going to the Super Bowl and losing.
I don't know about that, but let's say hypothetically he does get traded.
Mhm.
Because this, I mean, like you said, he has done it before.
Oakland.
This is maybe. That's actually that's got potential, but he's done this before. When is it going to get old?
He's a 30-year-old running back who has off-the-field past issues, on-the-field past issues, injury issues. Granted, he is the best, but he's on that downside. So are you going to go trade for him to be a rental, or are you going to go trade for him and sign him to a 4-year, 5-year extension? I'm not.
No.
Pittsburgh needs him more now than any other team right now. They need him. Yes, James Conner had a great game. James Conner has got a lot of talent.
It's week
He's
one.
not Le'Veon Bell.
No, he's not. But
I am.
you heard it here first, Clint.
And that's why you're doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Well, I
Steelers
mean-
are calling right now.
Yeah, he's holding out his contract with the
Yeah.
Steelers,
Yeah.
too.
Gotta get those numbers up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, and I mean, I agree with you. The fact that I don't think he's going to get the contract he wants. He has held out before. He's going to continue to do it.
He'll play 8 games and play out the year and move on next year.
Okay.
They get paid.
Do you agree
He'll
with
get
it?
paid fat and probably not live up to the contract.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it didn't work out.
Maybe a year, first year or two, and then
It didn't work out very well for AP.
hey,
The Cards. I mean,
AP's a Hall of Famer right now.
he is. Oh yeah, there's no taking away from him. I'm just saying.
Le'Veon Bell's about another year or two away
When he
from
went-
being a no.
When AP
doubter,
went to
but-
the Cards, I mean they had expectations were pretty high. There was a lot of potential there because David Johnson did so well, but
Yeah,
AP
Emmitt Smith did the same thing.
AP
go
is
to
just not.
Arizona.
AP is just not a receiving. He's just not a receiving running
Well, and
back.
he was just a fill-in there, just
Yeah.
like he's a fill-in in Washington. I mean, I don't know if he's still trying to play for contracts to come or he's just living out the last year,
I'm sure he's gonna
half a
play
year
till
of his
they stop
life.
paying him.
But
Yeah,
you know,
I guess if he keeps getting paid, he's going to keep playing.
so, but how long does it last?
Yeah, that's true. You got another one, Brian?
I got another one.
Let's do it.
Golf or Big Ben this weekend?
Ooh, I like that one.
Who were Big Ben?
Golf.
Goff.
Yeah.
Well, Big Ben's not practicing. He got the crap beat out of him last week by Cleveland. He didn't look good, even when he was in the game. So give me Goff and that offense in Buffalo against a bad Buffalo team. Yeah, I'll take Goff.
It's tough for me, but I want to say Goff because of the offense.
Yeah, I got to go with Golf because there's so much
And they're
potential
playing
there.
the Cardinals. Yeah, I think it's Goff. Although Big Ben is at home and that's where he normally plays.
Yeah, and he usually does well over there. But
playing against the Chiefs.
Yeah, see, I mean, that could be a shootout.
Could be.
Um,
Probably like 3-3 at halftime because everybody thinks it's going to be a shootout.
I'm gonna take the under. Every time I bet Vegas, I take the over.
Mahomes will come out and throw some interceptions this week.
Yeah, I mean, there's potential, but I gotta go with Goff on that one just because he's playing Arizona. I mean, Goff could just shred them.
And they're stacked, man.
Goff. I mean, the Rams have every potential to
I love
go
having
deep in the
Goff
playoffs.
as that number 2 option for me at quarterback.
Who's your number one?
Cousins.
Oh yeah, you're sitting all right.
That's
And I got
decent.
him in a trade. I got him in a trade as a throw-in, and I threw in Paxton Lynch back to the guy. So I basically picked up Goff for Paxton Lynch.
Who the hell wanted Paxton Lynch?
Spencer.
Oh, Spencer.
No, he didn't want Paxton Lynch. I wanted Goff, and it was a throw-in player
Oh, it was
for
a
a
caveat.
bigger trade.
Oh,
and so I was
okay.
like, well, you give me Goff, and I'll give you Lynch back just to kind of a
Smooth
throw-in
it, yeah.
piece. Spencer.
Lynch
Spencer,
had
Spencer,
bust
Spencer.
all over
Do
him
we need-
when they drafted him.
Speaking of that, how do y'all feel about trades being regulated in leagues? Do you think there should
By
be
who?
like by a commissioner or
All right.
by a panel?
All right, so
of
in
three?
some leagues, all trades that they'll be proposing go through, they get voted on. So
Yeah,
the
I don't
league
have a
could-
problem with the league voting on it, but it has to be like 2/3.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I mean, I feel like if you have newbies coming in, you know, and especially in a redraft league, you've got new guys. Hey, this is his first time playing fantasy. Yeah, you need something there to kind of protect them because they really don't know. But
Yeah.
to me, in Dynasty, we've had pretty much the same teams for 5+ years. Dude, if you don't know what you're doing at this point, because we, you know, in our main league that we do, we don't regulate the trades at all. I mean, it's the old west. You know, if you get hosed on a trade, you get hosed on a trade. That's your bad. But you know, there's obviously some collusion clauses, stuff like
Yeah,
that.
you're not giving up OBJ for, Kiki
yeah,
Coty or some shit.
yeah.
But you're in the dynasty aspect of it. It's, you don't know what a guy's going to do in 2 or 3 years,
Right.
and that's part of the dynasty aspect from it. So yeah, it may not look like a good trade right now. It may look like I just got raked over the coals, but maybe I see something in a guy not next year, the year after that, for another guy who I think is on his last legs.
Right.
May not look good, but you never know.
Yeah, and I was curious on that because I know that's popped up. Oh, my league got vetoed and all that, or my trade got vetoed and all that. But
Before we take a break, we
Yes.
got a question from listener William. He says, Clay, projected versus actual. I had a running back and a wide receiver on my bench score more points than a starting running back and flex. Do I stick with my starters or make a change?
ooh,
Well, say the names again.
He didn't say names.
Oh, okay.
All right, well, he started. All right, I know who he started. So he's had Alex Collins and Dalvin Cook.
okay.
Oh, because Emmanuel Sanders on his bench went off.
Oh yeah, that's
But-
hey, dude, you're not William. You're,
Yeah.
well, that's Billy, right? Billy, you are
Yeah.
not the only one, man. That Manuel Sanders hosed a lot of people this week.
The only thing I might do is in your flex, I would put maybe Emmanuel Sanders instead of Deion Lewis. But at receiver, you have OBJ and Mike Evans.
All right.
Those are studs.
You're sitting okay, bud. Yeah, if you have Emmanuel Sanders in your flex, that's nasty.
Yeah, and then like I said, at running back, Alex Collins and Dalvin Cook, solid. I think Collins against Cincy, and then with Dixon going down on the IR, just ups his workload. So you're solid there as well.
Yeah, don't jump off of that Alex Collins bandwagon yet. I know he didn't have
Yeah.
a great week 1, but
That's
with
what I'm
you.
saying.
He's still a solid
I'm putting him
player.
back
yeah.
in my starting lineup. That's like I said, and then I know you put in Ebron last week at tight end because you were worried about Minnesota's defense against Kittle. I think Kittle's the move. Obviously, if he can do it against Minnesota, Jimmy G loves him. So yeah, I think
Yeah. And
I think you're good right there.
Jimmy G, where do you fall on Jimmy G?
I did draft him in this one league, but that's just because he was sitting there, and I was like, maybe. I actually haven't been as high on him as everybody else, and I'm a Kyle Shanahan guy. I think the offense is there, but I just don't think they have the weapons around him to make him what everybody thinks he's already.
he
is.
needs help.
They're working on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
working
for
on
sure
it.
they're on the way, but
Dynasty,
I
hang
like
on to-
Dante Pettis out there.
yeah,
I
but
think he's going to be a
not
solid
your number
guy.
one.
Marquise Goodwin, I mean, that guy,
Yeah.
he wasn't even a great receiver at UT. He came in,
Yeah.
he was basically just a special teams
Right.
guy. Now all of a sudden, he had a few big games at the end of last year, and
And
he's
everybody.
supposed to
That's
be-
what I'm saying.
Who was throwing him the ball?
And
Who was throwing the good one the ball last
Jimmy
year?
G.
Jimmy
for
G.
for 5 games.
yeah.
That's what I mean. So he's got that Tom Brady-esque possibility making a good receiver.
Well,
out
he
of,
thinks
and could
he's
anybody
better than Tom Brady.
could
We'll
anybody
see.
tell you that Pierre Garçon was the wide receiver 1 in San Francisco, really. I mean, he's like the most unknown number 1 receiver in football.
Yeah, he's putting the work together. I mean, he's always had the tools.
Yeah, he gets injured a lot. So
he's just hurt a lot. Yeah.
Decent quarterback, but although Jimmy G didn't have the greatest showing week 1.
For me, I could just never get Brock Osweiler out of my mind. And so, like, I think Brock Osweiler, Jimmy G, like, same New England mold. And it's like, I love that he didn't do the Brock Osweiler route last year.
Yeah.
I just hope he doesn't fall into it.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely always, in my mind, his, looked better than Brock Osweiler on the field, game-wise and all that's going on. So, like I said, I just don't think that everybody's expecting him to be this elite. He's going to be a very good NFL quarterback this year, but I don't know if it's going to translate to his fantasy numbers this year like everybody's expecting. Because, like I said, I do like Dante Pettis, and but I just don't think they have that. They don't have that OBJ, the Mike Evans, or DeAndre Hopkins, or someone built like that, and they need him.
Well, and the running back situation over there too. I mean, it's a
they lost McKinnon. So
yeah,
that
hurt so bad, man. that was devastating because I was actually pretty high on McKinnon being over there and all that. I mean, and Baltimore did exactly what to Buffalo what they should have done. I mean they.
Well, that was a whooping. I didn't think it was going to be that bad.
I mean, but see, Buffalo. I mean, to me, I'm not. I mean, that's probably why Rosen's getting the start. But
they at least have a running game and somewhat of a little bit defense. I guess they had a defense. I thought it was better than what it was.
What the?
But that's where I'm saying. Alex Collins. I mean, yeah, he didn't get into that mix, but there's no reason. I mean, they're usually hard on defense and a run first because they've got Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco, the overthrow king. He that's what he does. He overthrows people, but. They should have done that to Buffalo, and now I'm at the point now where I'm starting to get to that point where it's like almost any team playing Buffalo, man, you need to really look at if you like the Chargers are playing them this week. I mean, you need to look at the Mike Williams and Keenan Allen and say, I mean,
and if you play team defense, I'm starting Chargers defense against that crappy Bills team with starting a rookie quarterback.
Yep, you need to.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And on the whole.
Alex Collins?
Alex Collins and the Baltimore thing, they did a great job of spreading the ball around.
Yeah, they did.
Snead had a good game. Brown had a good game.
Snead's
they had 3
well
running backs. I liked Willie Snead.
I did. I loved him in New Orleans, man. I thought he had a lot of potential.
Yeah.
He had a bad year last year. I think he got hurt and all that. But
they got a lot of.
He's got the wheels.
Not
he's got
top end talent, but talented guys
and
a lot of them. So I mean, if they can just get the ball to these guys and let them do the work,
it's the system, man. That system could work. But I mean, I love John Harbaugh over there, man. I think I feel like he's a good coach, and I think
better than his brother.
Yes, he's a lot more quieter.
And I think Collins also catches the ball in the backfield. So you got to stay with him, and so
Well, we got to roll to our sponsors. And
dun, dun, dun.
In case y'all didn't catch it earlier, this podcast is brought to you by Grizzly Grease. The grease for the bearded ones. Clayton is a big fan of it. He uses the oil and all that. They've got some great balms over there. If you're gonna have the beard, make sure it doesn't look like crap. Take care of it. And that's what these women that created these awesome products are trying to do is make sure that if you're gonna look shaggy with the beard, at least it's clean.
They want their men looking manly.
But, there's nothing wrong. Hey man, rock the beard
at the same time.
Yeah, be balm, get balm.
It's a mullet. Part in the front, business in the back.
It's good stuff, and of course, like I said earlier, man, they're in Old Town Spring. They've got I believe they have a storefront over there. They'll take good care of you. Go in there and try some products out, or at least check them out and ask some questions. They'll be more than happy to help you, and that's I believe grizzlygrease.com. .com. And of course, once again, we got to talk about Houston Preeminence. I know I'm pretty excited about it. Some good things. We're getting new information about it every day, and we unfortunately we can't release it just yet, but we're getting some great tools to help us advance and help other sports, Houstonian sports done by Houstonians. We're getting great tools to help us provide better information for you guys. I know we do talk to Texans quite a bit, but hey, man, we got to talk them. We're in Houston, and if you're not a fan, or at least
great job to Jason and what he's doing out there with Houston Preeminence. It's it's going to be big things. I like it. He's a good guy. Things are running, well run, and it. Look for really good things coming up here.
I know a lot, and I know some of the other folks that they've got on there. Man, they're putting together
everything,
some great
everything
things, and
pristine.
Especially the podcast and some of the writers out there. It's going to be some awesome stuff. But
a lot
look for
of
that.
knowledge in Houston, just like there's a lot of talent. There's a
Yeah.
lot of knowledge out here.
And I believe they're going to be covering everything sports. I know we're going to get ready to. We're going to be covering MMA. We're talking baseball. I'm sure. I know we're getting.
I'll be talking basketball. I'm a big Rockets fan.
I know Chad.
baseball for me.
I know Chad, man. I know he loves him some Stros, but I know he's a big Cleveland guy too. Hey,
Go
man.
Tribe.
Hey, man. I hate you for that, but that's okay, man. You got your hey.
That's okay. It's
loyalty,
right now.
man.
It's looking like they're going first round of the playoffs matchup. So
Hey.
we may get the Cleveland-Houston playoff match.
That'd be
this
great.
year.
That'd be great.
Sucks for Cleveland.
Good things going on for Dynasty Wise. It's actually it's Dynasty Wise fantasy football, but it's kind of morphing into Dynasty Wise sports, which we are super excited about, man. That's a lot of big changes happen over here, and keep watching us, keep following us. Of course, then again, like and follow us on Facebook, and go to our YouTube. Subscribe over there, and a lot of these will be, we'll post these up, and we read the comments and let us know what you think. But yeah, right now we're doing a big thing on YouTube to subscribe, guys. We really don't, and also want. We don't want to eat the peanuts, but we also want to eat them just to put it on camera so you guys know exactly what your subscribe got you. Thanks again, guys. Keep on watching. We got more info coming again. We got more questions, Brian. Brian, thank you, guys. Bring it.
Is Matty Ice droppable? He picked up Jimmy G. Should he start Jimmy G over Matty Ice?
Oh,
Droppable. Okay, for the first part of that, is he droppable?
No.
You trade him before you ever think about dropping him.
Yeah,
that's a huge mistake.
Hey, if you want to move on, trade him because you can get some value.
I don't care
for
if
him.
you got 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah, you can get some value for him. There's receivers and running backs out there that you can pick up for him. Picking up Jimmy G is not a bad grab. Now you have that. You can alternate to see who they're playing. I mean, that's what I would look at.
Right. Yeah, I'm not dropping Matt Ryan. He does have a tough matchup this week.
He had a tough matchup last week too. But
it's tough, but he throws for 4,000 yards like every year.
Atlanta, Carolina this week.
Yeah.
At home though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I think I personally would probably start Matt Ryan this week because I think he's going to bounce back this week. He's going to have a bounce back game. And Jimmy G against the Detroit Lions I don't think is favorable. I know the Jets just beat them, but that was more of Matt Stafford throwing interceptions and everything else than it was.
And the running game.
Yeah.
Detroit couldn't stop the run.
Yeah.
So,
and I think with, Foreman being out, or I mean, not Foreman, I apologize for that. Freeman, questionable. You've got one of your main tools is out, but you still got Julio Jones over there. You still have a nasty trio of wide receivers over there. I mean, he's got the weapons. He's got the tools. Don't go to sleep on Matty Ice, man. There's a reason why he's called Matty Ice. I feel like it's going to be a big bounce back year. Even his off year, he still had a good year last year. Yeah. Granted, it's not his Super Bowl run year, but he still had a good year.
In fantasy football, one of the things that I like to look for, I don't need the guy who's going to be great for 3 years.
Yeah, and
that's it. Give me a guy like Matt Ryan who has been top 10 for 7-8 years.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yep.
That it's a lot of value in a guy like that.
He's got
even though he's not the high scorer. Yeah,
consistency.
Yeah. So, and I mean to cut you off, Chad, but he's got Sanu, he's got Calvin Ridley now, and he's got Julio Jones. Man, I mean we discussed it a little bit. The best trio and in there a little bit, but that's one of the best. I mean, to me, that's potentially top 5 if Calvin Ridley comes alive.
As long as Chad doesn't jinx Ridley again.
Yeah, I know, right?
Who's got Ridley? Is that Jeff?
Yeah, so I missed on my big prediction.
I guarantee he gets a touchdown this week.
No, it was just my bowl. I didn't get. I think it was just my
you
bold
put guarantee
prediction.
on it.
Bold.
Pull it up.
I may have. I don't remember.
Pull it up.
Pull the trigger. That's all right, though. I mean, but I mean, I honestly, when you said it though, I was like, man, I honestly thought in my mind that's not bold. That there's to me, there's every reason he could.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah, I thought DJ Moore may get more in there.
Yeah.
They're kind of easing DJ Moore over to Carolina. They're kind of letting him get a little bit more into involved.
And with the whole delay before that game and it started,
man, threw everybody off.
That's a tough one to even kind of judge on.
Yeah.
2 talented teams could have gone either way.
And Brian's giggling. What do we got, Brian?
We got smack talking going on Facebook Live.
Uh-oh. Bring it on. I love it.
I told Jeff to go to bed.
Did you?
It's making me giggle.
All right. You can read it. Is it profane?
No,
it's just
a little back and
Jeff
forth.
and Chad going back
okay.
and forth.
Y'all make sure.
I told Jeff to go to
like they always
bed.
do.
Jeff came back, said get better takes, and I told him to get a better fantasy team. So
That's fair. Chad bringing it back to fantasy.
All right. So, next question is, I dropped the Texans D for the Chargers D. Smart move or bad move?
This week it's not a bad move. They're playing Chargers playing Buffalo. Is not a bad
I like
move.
how he does the whole matchup thing on team defense. That's why I always used to play it. You know,
Yeah.
you can pick up teams on the waiver wire each. You don't even have to roster one.
Yep.
So kudos to you for being aware of that, not just sticking with one team, no
Yeah.
matter who they're playing.
Yeah, I mean, again, looking at the schedule, they may have a week, 3 or 4 weeks where they're playing. Hey, they're not going to get many points, but
based on last week,
yeah, I mean that's true. I mean, what do you think, Clay? Houston playing Tennessee or Chargers?
both good
playing
options, but I'm
Bills?
going to go Houston versus Tennessee because, like I said, we're thinking the Chargers. They should be a better defense, but they just got ran over by Pat Mahomes and Tyreek Hill.
Yeah,
and
that's true. I mean, there's
I'm starting the Houston defense. I think that's a more favorable matchup.
The injuries that Tennessee has.
I mean, yeah. Well, and like we said, I mean, even if they score a couple touchdowns,
I don't think it's going to be that big of a difference.
no. And with team defense, I mean, if they may score a couple touchdowns, but I think J.J. Watt, Clowney, I think they're going to make up for it with
Merciless.
sack fumbles. I think there's going to be some,
Reader.
there's going to be some, I don't know if they tackles for losses of points, but it should be.
And Derwin James had a really good game for his first game in the NFL. Melvin Ingram was just absent in that game.
Is
Bosa was
playing?
not playing.
Yeah, Bosa.
So
Is he playing this week?
I don't know. I'm keeping my eye on it because I want to run with him and Myles Garrett.
Mm-hmm.
I know the actual best suggestion I can make to that question was next year what you need to do is just go ahead and drop all team defenses and go IDP. Quit wasting your time with team defenses, or at least if you're not going to do that, pick up a defensive flex player.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do that, go linebacker. Just go C.J. Mosley, pick him up, and
toe in the baby pool.
Yeah.
You don't have to go full diving into the deep end.
A lot of people go keeper before they go dynasty, and that's okay too. To us, we went through that. It's a waste of time. We went, we were like, all right, we're done with that.
Just
We're
get
going
butt
dynasty.
naked and jump in.
Yeah. Or just jump in.
Whoa.
They
Butt naked.
clothes optional.
Y'all are family. Don't talk like that.
No, it makes it even better.
Yeah.
The fact that we're family.
Jealousy doesn't look good on you, Chad.
Still got my high five though.
Jealous.
All right.
It's an awful color on you, Chad.
Half PPR.
Bring
pick one. Leaning Coleman.
Leaning Coleman. All right. Say it again one more time.
Look under that.
Yeah, hold on.
It's still on the same page.
It's broken up. All right. Sorry.
Oh, okay. All right. There's more to it.
Half PPR. Pick one. Leaning Coleman? Question mark. Fitz at Rams. Tolman versus Carolina. Marshall at the Bears.
And
So
Eckler.
Brandon Marshall or Coleman in Atlanta.
Or
Tevin Coleman.
Yeah.
or Larry Fitzgerald or,
Larry-
Austin Eckler.
I'd go Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
Go look at that game, the Cardinals.
Yeah.
He's the only one they threw to. I think he had like 7 catches. Nobody else had more than one.
Yeah. I'm also looking at what just happened in Oakland with Amari Cooper. Basically shutting him down.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
but-
thinking.
It's hard to
He's
shut 50.
Fitzgerald,
Yeah, it's
man.
hard to shut 50 down, man.
Cooper's no Fitzgerald.
That's yeah.
Well, I like Coleman against Carolina
Yeah.
just because there's a lot of opportunities there. I mean, with Freeman, questionable, possibly being out. I mean, Coleman's going to get the touches there.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Coleman there.
Yeah, I'm leaning Coleman. I have Coleman in one league. And then I would also consider Eckler. Like I said, the Bills so far have showed us that they're atrocious. So, but I would hope you're a little bit deeper where you're not really running Eckler because I personally don't think he's a flex running back yet because he's just a backup. But
He shouldn't see the field.
Yeah,
he shouldn't see your fantasy lineup
Yeah.
until at least week 5.
Well, if you've got Fitzy in your flex, that means you're probably stacked at wide receiver, I would think.
yeah.
And Coleman being in your flex, I mean, that's a good spot for him to be because it's pretty low risk. Actually, I mean, I like Fitzy or Coleman there. I mean, Brandon Marshall, I don't really necessarily like him
Bears
against the
defense
Bears.
is good, but
They're-
Rams
they're
defense,
stacked.
I don't know. I'm not starting Fitz. I think that's a bad move.
Yeah, I'm more going towards Coleman. I mean, he said he was leaning Coleman.
Boom, boom.
He's
Yeah.
a hofer, man.
Boom,
Gotta go with the hofer.
boom.
All right. What do you got, Bri? Got another one?
Coming in hot, Bri.
Who should he drop for Cooper Cup? Mike Williams, Sterling Shepard, or Corey Davis?
Williams.
I disagree because Williams actually had a productive game,
He
so
did.
I don't know why he's really.
I think in PPR he put up 7-8 points, something like
And
that.
Sterling Shepard to me, Sterling Shepard is Cooper Kupp, and Cooper Kupp is Sterling Shepard production-wise.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Good point.
That's a lateral move. I'd probably almost lean Corey Davis. He hasn't really done anything. Like, if you have to drop one, his quarterback's banged up. He's banged up. I'm probably going to drop Corey Davis.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Who do you believe in more, Corey Davis or Mike Williams?
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, me personally, I believe Mike Williams, but yeah, I give. Yeah, Chad brings up a good question too.
I would say Corey Davis because he's on my team.
Would you drop him to pick up Cooper Kupp?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I've been trying to trade him in our league all offseason. Nobody wants his sorry ass.
Who, Corey Davis?
Yeah.
I traded Cooper Kupp to you.
Just drop him.
I'm not dropping him. He
Drop
was a
him,
first
dude.
round draft pick last year. I'm writing him out.
Quit sitting on it, man.
Pat's such a mooch. He just sits there and like waits for everybody's drop.
I'm a waiver vulture, man.
Please cut him for me.
What do they call them? Lot lizards is what they call them. I'm a
You
lot
know-
lizard on the waiver wire. Coined it. That's going to be coined. We call them rig lizards in the oil field.
Our fantasy football lot lizards, huh?
Yeah. Man, that's what I'm going to start calling people. Man, you lot lizard. Watching the waiver wire. You got another one, Brian? Keep them coming, buddy.
Melvin Jones versus San Francisco or Brandon Marshall versus Chicago.
Marvin
In
Jones.
PPR.
Marvin Jones or Brandon Marshall?
In PPR.
In PPR.
Probably have to lean Marvin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Marvin Jones. He's underrated in a lot of places. I mean, I know he went a little bit higher, but there's not much talk about him. But he's, him or Golden Tate. They're
Right.
kind of one and one really. It's
He
just
finally broke up and lived up to his talent.
But you
Yeah.
got to be careful out there now with Kenny Galladay looked to be one of Stafford's favorite
Yeah.
targets. He
Yeah.
was getting a lot, and he looked pretty good getting the ball. So we'll have to monitor that situation. But as of right now, definitely Marvin Jones over Brandon Marshall, even if he wants to have his revenge or whatever he wants to do.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be said for that chip on the shoulder, buddy. I agree with that. I like Marvin Jones over there.
Live in the now. Brandon Marshall, it's not 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Living on a thief.
In a standard league, who would you have as tight end? Jack Doyle, Tyler Eifert, how do you say his last
Tyler
name?
Eifert.
Yeah, or Ben Watson.
So Watson, Eifert, or Doyle in a redraft?
None of the above.
Man, dude, you did a horrible job taking your tight ends.
I think you got. All right, I'm gonna be honest with you. You got better on the waiver wire right now.
Go pick up Ricky Seals-Jones.
Go
Yeah.
be a lizard.
Seriously.
Go be a waiver
Okay,
lizard.
Jonnu Smith, Ricky Seals-Jones. Believe it or not, I've seen Kittle be on a lot of waiver wires.
Yeah, seriously.
Scoop him up.
Ian Thomas.
David Njoku, Ian Thomas, Cameron Brate. Like anybody over these guys.
Disley in Seattle, who Pat
Yeah.
just picked up,
Jordan
Yeah.
Aiken in Houston.
Yeah.
Like get somebody because
Disley-
that right there, I wrote on those tight ends. I put effing yuck.
Yeah.
You know?
If you have Ebron and Doyle, okay, man, that's
Trade them.
yeah.
you don't need to handcuff your tight end when your tight end's not that good.
I don't know. Maybe that's what's up. Well, maybe that's what's on the waiver wire. I mean, he's got to pick one. Maybe.
Don't do it.
Don't
Yeah, stay away.
I'm not starting.
take your
tight
zero
Yeah.
like a man.
Speaking of Disley, I don't think he's a 1 week wonder.
What's his first name?
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Sorry, I just had to do
No,
that.
that's fine. That's how important it is to me.
I know.
Yeah, I've got Gronk. I'm okay.
You're good.
They don't have their first name on the jerseys.
Yeah.
They don't give
It's
a damn what it.
W Disley, okay?
WD.
Probably Wilburn or something.
Yeah. What is it, Chad?
Will.
Will. Okay.
See?
Will Disley. See?
Short for Wilburn.
Yeah, it is.
Or Wilbur.
It's short for Wilbur. But yeah, I honestly don't think after what he did and how he played complete, and Russell Wilson's been looking for that tight end.
Got to have somebody to throw
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
And who else is out there right
And you
now?
don't have a lot
Yeah.
of time with that shiesty O-line.
Yeah.
What's up with NFL teams?
Tyler Lockett. That's who else is out
What?
there. No offense to him,
Dwayne
but he went
Brown's a
off.
Hall of Famer, right?
He's very solid, but you need more than one left tackle.
Again, I'm telling you guys. I mean, I've been saying it since we started. I'm tired of watching Russell Wilson run because he has to. I want him to run because he wants to. I want him to be more like, Cameron. I want him to do more over there. Like he runs when he has to over in Carolina. It's just he runs because he wants to because he can get there.
And he's 6'5", 250.
That does help. But I mean, and hey,
260.
and they were talking about Aaron Rodgers being tough, and he's tough. All credit to him, but dude, Ben Roethlisberger's a tough cat too, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a big boy. I'm not taking, but I've seen him. I've seen,
One of the toughest.
dude. I've seen him take it on the mouth.
Yeah, he's the size of a linebacker, and he'll sit there and
He's seen some women take it on the mouth.
And bam, I've seen him take a shot from Ray Lewis, a heavy hitting linebacker, dude, and just kept on rolling.
took a shot from concrete and a motorcycle too.
Did he? Man.
Yeah, he did.
Why are you guys picking on his personal stuff? I'm trying to keep it on the field, guys.
Hey, we're just keeping the people out there in tune and knowledgeable about what these guys' pass are like.
Google Ben Roethlisberger taking it on the concrete.
Whoa.
Well, I'm not Googling it.
Please do not Google that.
I wouldn't Google it at work, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
NSFW.
not at all.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for fixing that. You just saved his career. Now he's going to have a good week. Brian, do we have another question?
Trade away Kittle for Cooper. And 10-team standard, I am deep at wide receiver.
I don't know if I go there yet.
Ooh.
Yeah, like I don't.
I know you're pretty high on Kittle, Clay.
Yeah,
but
Yeah,
that's tight
no.
end.
I love Kittle. That's the thing.
he's
I-
deep at wide receiver. If he's deep
But
and
how-
he's thinking about trading Amari, he means he's pretty deep.
How deep? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How deep is deep, and also.
I mean, he's taking. I mean, Cooper's taking top.
I mean,
usually
are
top
you giving
15.
Kittle for Cooper? Because I'd probably do it.
I'm not. I can't give up on Cooper quite.
That's
that.
what
I
I'm
mean,
saying.
You're talking about a top 8.
No, he's giving
receiver
Kittle.
at one point. I'm just talking about the trade. I don't know who's
Trade,
giving up who.
Yeah, no,
trade,
yeah,
trade
no,
away
this person-
Kittle for Cooper.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll take.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude, hit the accept.
That's what I'm saying.
You need to right now.
I love Kittle, but I think
Quit thinking and do it.
a top 10 potential wide receiver or 15 if he plays what he was.
I can find
But
5
that
other
tight end
Kittles.
spot, though. I mean, I know we've talked about Kittle's potential over there with Jimmy G's potential top 10 tight
He
end.
performed against Minnesota too, so I mean, like I said, I love Kittle,
Yeah,
but I still think
I love Chubb.
I love Chubb. But yeah, no, like I said, like
I don't know, man. I think I'd keep Kittle.
maybe like if it was a tight
You
end
have
premium
Gronk,
league.
so-
Well, I
May-
mean,
if it's a tight end premium league, sure. Well, I mean, also like if you can throw a tight end in flex, like how weak? I mean, how? But how deep are you at?
if he's thinking about trading Amari or Kittle,
But he's deep at wide receiver, so maybe not.
I mean, if
Where are you
we're
at?
talking Amari Cooper top 15ish.
He
So easily.
could
Top-
be.
top-
Amari Cooper right now is still a top 15 wide receiver. He's still a top 15
So
wide
if he's
receiver.
deep, I mean, if he's thinking about giving away Amari Cooper, I would assume he's at least got 1 or 2 above this and 1 or 2 below it. So I would say, average wise, I mean, he's looking to get rid of kind of the middle of his pack, probably is what I would think.
Yeah, a number 10 tight end is not worth a number 15 wide receiver.
Yeah, if you want, you got to get more. If you're Cooper and you're trying to trade him for Kittle, you need more. But if you're giving Kittle up for Cooper, you got to accept.
Yeah.
Yeah. Finally, I noticed Jeff finally actually asked something kind of
Jeff don't know shit.
valuable here. He asked, "What week do we start to make changes to your lineup? Week 4, week 5? When are these number 1 guys that you have that you don't bench that aren't performing finally?"
I think bye's going to affect
Yeah.
week 4 as well.
Yeah, that's
so.
when I start looking at it pretty serious. I look at it's a good question, Jeff. Thank you. I look at replacing them. I mean, bye week. If let's say I don't know off the top of my head when Oakland's bye week is right now, but let's say I've got Amari Cooper. I'm looking at the bye week. It's like, okay, I'm gonna trade him out. I'm gonna put in a Golden Tate or something in his spot. I'm gonna look at that and say, hey, if they perform, if they keep performing, they have a week. I'll keep them in for the following week. And just kind of see. And I mean, I benched Amari Cooper with really very little hesitation this week.
My advice on it on this is it would be kind of more of a general thing on this. It's have confidence in your knowledge and your ability in what you drafted. So if I drafted a guy who in the first round, second round, unless the guy's on IR, I'm sticking with the guy, because I took him for a reason right there in that spot.
Yeah.
If week 4 I'm already benching my first round pick, you need to contact DynastyWise a little more, because that's you can't be doing stuff like that, especially in redrafts.
No, you can't. Even
In Dynasty, it's you still got a couple years.
yeah.
Redraft, I mean, it's this year. So if you're taking somebody number 1, make it worth it.
And I'm gonna go ahead and give away one of my little secrets too. And if and some of you may already use it, and if you guys do it, you probably do it. IR, I use that. Let's say I know they're going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks. I'll put them on IR. It's not really because I'm planning on playing them. It's so Chad or Clay can't pick them up.
Yeah, so you can have 7 running backs on your team when you're only supposed to have 5, but somehow you have 7.
It's amazing. It's amazing. But hey, man, it's the rules of your league, and if you know them well enough, you take advantage of it.
Didn't you write those rules at one point?
They were all approved.
Uh-huh.
They were all
I
approved.
wasn't here for that.
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, if they're on my IR,
We'd still be approving them right now.
the biggest thing is if they're on my IR, I keep them so someone else can't pick them up. I use the IR as a tool.
Oh, yeah.
mean,
Right.
you have to. I mean, but most players, I'm gonna put them on my IR. and then someone else gets hurt, I'm booting them.
There's
you know
definitely
what
a few guys on my team who are only on my team because I don't want somebody to grab them up and then me regret it.
No, that's exactly it. You guys, Jeff, about Jay Ajayi and a couple others, man. There's
Justin, I got him for Ajayi and Justin Houston. What's up?
Yeah, thanks whoever gave me Deion Lewis in the middle of the season last year.
it's not
Kinda
really working
same
out for
thing.
you.
That was
No, it
Joe.
works out great for me. But
Oh, Deion Lewis. Oh,
whoever
yeah.
cut him early. You
Oh,
know?
my bad.
See, Gregory was making a point. He says some players trend to have a slow start as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, because Gregory G.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
Greg.
Thank you, Greg. Appreciate it. Spike. But no, that's a good point too. I mean, some of them are slow. You know, I mean, almost inherently every year they do it, just like clockwork.
Yeah.
I mean, they're slow starters, and then and that's a good thing. I prefer them to have a crappy first quarter of the season, and then when I'm starting to hit those, week 5, 6, 7, when we're starting to make our runs, well, those are the deciding weeks of really when you know you're going to make the playoffs or not.
Yeah.
That's why I don't just go dropping players too early, because if they do have a slow start, like I don't panic early.
Yeah.
You know, like what Chad said, I drafted my team because I believe in those guys and I believe they're going to produce for me. Okay, this week they didn't. This week they didn't. Okay, but now they are. I get like 2 or 3 bad weeks, but then after that they're back who they were. Thank you. Yeah.
The only time it really, and I'm sure we're going to add a segment coming soon that what pissed me off this week. But the only time it really ticks me off is when my first or second round pick.
Yeah.
And we're Dynasty, so it's a little bit different. I'm not expecting my first. I like my first round pick to maybe start producing later in the season. I picked up DJ Moore, which fell to me, which was weird. But I'd like to see him production later in the year. But my second, third picks, I'm not really looking for them to produce in that first year. I'd like to see some action out of them. But the only time in the redraft leagues, the only time it ticks me off is my first round pick. If I lose, like they're unproductive, like David Johnson, losing him. Oh God, that sucked last year. I know it did, but that's the only time it really ticks me off.
Yeah, it's actually kind of a funny story on that.
What do you got?
Diana had an all-girls league at her old job and came out, had the first pick in the draft, AP all the way, first game of the season, AP's down, out. Like, there's nothing worse than that.
Yeah.
You
Who
know?
the hell takes AP with the first pick?
Well, when he was in Minnesota and was the best running back in the league at the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Minnesota.
I've held on to him for a while. Brian, you got another one? Right? I didn't hang on. I'm not hanging on to him currently.
We've touched on this, but
What do
we'll
we
go
got?
ahead and do it again. Waiver pickups. They got Smith, Grant, Godwin, Thomas. What do y'all think?
I'm assuming Jakeem Grant,
Ryan Grant.
Ryan
Grant, in
Okay.
Indy, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who was it? Grant,
Jonnu Smith.
Jonu Smith, tight end.
Chris Godwin and Ian Thomas. So I guess he needs a receiver or a tight end.
Or both. If you had to go one of each, who would you go? Like one receiver, one tight end. And then which one would you take? Kind of break it down that way.
Yeah,
would you take Smith or Thomas?
See, I'd take Thomas.
Yeah, because he's got a healthy quarterback.
Yeah, I'd take Thomas.
And
Okay. And so then would you take the two receiver, which ones were they?
Chris Godwin.
Godwin or
Ryan Grant.
And to me, I'm jumping all over Godwin. At
Ryan
least short
too.
term.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I'm not on Godwin until, because Indy does need that number 2, but until Grant shows it or whatever, that's Godwin for now.
I mean, Grant never did anything in Washington.
Yeah.
He's all speculation right now. So
he's got potential, but I gotta agree with you guys
a
on
lot of
Godwin
guys
too.
in the NFL with potential.
I know.
I got potential.
When are you gonna live up to it?
Never.
Didn't the Steelers call you
5'9",
earlier?
107.
The
Yeah.
They called you earlier.
I told them to trade Bell, but they don't want to listen.
They're still off a whole zero on the end of the contract.
Yeah.
Aren't you anywhere near the ballpark.
All right.
All right.
Somebody likes your shirt, Pat. You want
Yeah?
to shout out to the whole Zach
Hey.
Morris crew out there?
Zach Morris is trash.
I love that.
I do too, man.
I watched every episode of that show
I do
as a
too,
kid.
man.
Now looking back at it,
I know
man, he's a dick.
He was, dude. I mean, and all of his friends just go along with him
Yeah.
blindly. He's like, what the hell is wrong with you?
I'm really glad. Like Kelly Kapowski just did not go with that guy for
I
the
know.
longest time.
It's almost like looking like even a Karate Kid. Daniel LaRusso was actually the villain.
Yeah.
I went back and watched it. I was like, you
He
know
was.
what? Yeah, I mean, when they were in the bathroom, he actually provoked a lot of that when they were in the skeleton outfits, and then and then the old man came in and abused the minors. I mean, it's like, dude, I don't know. Hey, but I did.
I'm still. I got distracted to Kelly Kapowski, so
That's okay. I did finish Cobra Kai, by the way.
How was it?
It was great. It was.
Yeah, I saw that. I want to go and
It was
watch
really
that.
good. It was a great throwback. The storyline is awesome. They did such a great job. I mean, there's some good twist in there, man.
Billy Zappa's hilarious too.
Yeah, he
Boom,
is. Dude.
boom.
He owned it. But yeah,
Boom,
thank you
boom.
guys. But yeah, Bayside High. Thank you guys for the shout out.
AC Slater.
Yeah.
That guy was a d-bag.
He was.
Still
I was
is.
about to say,
You know what? That's our next fantasy bet. Dude. Someone's got to grow their hair out like AC Slater.
The AC Slater perm.
Yeah, they got to do it. They got to curl it and everything. We have a. Oh wait, no, she didn't pay for advertising yet because we have somebody that we may be able to get to. We'll send you to and we'll pay for it. But anyways, rolling on.
Rolling on. Jeff sends another question. Should people avoid running back in Seattle? Redraft PPR league.
Are we
Ooh.
specific on Carson or Penny or any running
Yeah,
back?
the
Yeah.
whole backfield.
Yeah, seems like a general question, but
In a
it is
redraft.
pretty. It is pretty skeptical right now. I mean, if I were going to go one, I mean, I'd go with Carson. You know, but I think Rashad Penny's eventually going to get the start. I wouldn't.
I think it's Penny's job to lose, and Carson's not doing enough to make him lose it. So
Well, the question is, should they avoid the running back situation?
I think that's
I-
pretty
yeah,
much the
that's
gist
the
of
same- that's-
everything we're saying right now.
Yeah, that's a safe bet. There's a lot of other places where you can go. I mean,
Unless you got deep bench, because I got Penny in the league.
or
just,
unless it's actually Jeff in our league, then yes, pick up those guys.
Yeah,
and-
go
and
for it, Jeff.
Go for it.
drop him if you got Penny in
Yeah,
our league.
yeah.
Drop him, Jeff.
but I think there's some other running back situations they could probably get in the mix. I know, like in New England, there's. You know, I know you never trusted, New England running back, but I mean, there's a situation.
One fumble and he's done for the next 8 weeks.
What do you
know?
think? I know you'd mentioned earlier. What do you think?
I think James White's a good play this weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know how long term, but I mean, with Jeremy Hill out and Gillislee gone, now it's
Michelle's
Burkhead.
banged
and-
up.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's Burkhead and White, and White's shown that he's a good target for Brady. So
It's probably they're
Yeah.
gonna have some other dude come out of nowhere and do it off their
They
practice
are.
squad or
That-
some
yeah,
shit.
I don't know how they
Like,
do it, but they do.
I'm done. I'm done with them.
yeah, I know they picked up some scrap heap guy, and I can't
That's what
remember
I
who
was
it
about to
is
say.
right now.
That's who
and
you
he's
should
probably-
go pick
Let's
up.
go pick him up.
Yeah, that's yeah. Go ahead.
Whoever they just signed, go pick
Yeah.
Or
him up.
like Orleans Darkwa or something. I think
Yeah.
maybe finally made the Patriots.
Yeah.
Pick him up. Plan for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Stephen Ridley when he was over there, he
But
went off for
the
that year.
moment you see him fumble the ball,
That's
don't,
it. They're done.
don't.
Don't.
Because he's
or
not coming.
or
him.
if you got a sucker, trade. Yeah, that's exactly right. But yeah, it's a good question, Jeff. Keep them coming, man. Thank you, bud. I mean, there's a lot of other running back situations that you can do.
TJ Yeldon right now.
Yep.
Fournette's hurt.
Of course he is.
What do you mean? Of course he is. It's the
He-
first game he's missed.
I know.
No, he missed games
he
last
missed multiple
year.
games last year.
Whatever. He was
That was my biggest knock on him.
Ankles, man.
Hey, I mean, I think he fell out. When did Ezekiel Elliott down? He went for his suspension was at the end of last year.
Yeah, it was towards
Ezekiel
the end.
Elliott lost
Jer-
all credit in his little halter top at the draft.
That's fair, but that's where I mean
I can't have that guy on my
I
fantasy
can't.
team. I don't care.
The only time it irritates me, and I hold grudges against running backs that are out during fantasy playoffs. I honestly take it as a personal attack.
They did it on purpose. Fuck
They-
those
yeah,
guys.
yeah, they did.
Well, Zeke came back right before playoffs.
Which was bullshit.
but that was during your playoff run. I think Fournette missed a couple. I think his two of his games.
well,
were
he
during
came back
playoffs.
from being suspended, not hurt.
Who did?
Zeke.
Zeke. Oh yeah, Zeke. That's fine. I mean, it's whatever. Zeke is fine. But Fournette, that was my only biggest knock on him is the guy runs hard. There's every potential, but that's my only problem with the hard runners. Yeah, that's kind of my knock on Derrick Henry. Those big guys like that is some of the durability issues.
Fournette's 10 times the
Oh,
talent
I'm
as
not.
Henry,
I'm
though.
not. I'm just saying on the bigger running backs like that. I'm just saying.
Why are you
but-
looking at me like that? You don't think so? You think Derrick Henry is more of a talent than Leonard Fournette? Put it on record right now if you do.
No.
I don't think so.
nah.
He should be. Henry's such a monster.
He is, dude, and it irritates me. Anyways, we'll roll on. You got, you got another one, Brian?
Yeah. What tight end should I play? Kyle Rudolph or Jared Cook?
Ooh. Cook went off last week, but Kyle Rudolph's the more
Yeah, I was
consistent.
going Rudolph.
They're both good options.
Are they
Yeah,
asked-
Cook had that really long play as well. That
It was.
probably
It was.
inflated
Who
it.
should I play?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's who should he start? Okay, yeah. Man, that's a couple of decent tight ends, though. I mean,
Cook, like I say, Cook's at Denver, so he's on the road. What's the other game? I'm trying to see who their matchup is. Oh, Minnesota at Green Bay. In Green Bay.
Rudolph.
You like Rudolph in Green Bay over Cook in Denver?
Yeah.
It's honestly, I think you're going to get about the same.
Yeah,
from
I
either
think it's
one of
almost
them.
the
So it's.
So basically, flip a coin.
Yeah.
I just don't think Green Bay's defense is that good, and I think Cousins. I like the Cousins to Rudolph connection over the Carr to Cook.
I like Cousins' connection with that whole offense there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. No.
That guy's going to have to carry me this year. No, not really, but I do like him a lot in that team.
You like that? You like that?
That's my quarterback, man.
I got him in a league.
This
or
will
two.
defend. Go ahead, Brian. What you got?
Hold on real quick.
Yeah.
I had one from a guy I work with.
Yeah. What do you got?
He had a trade, and it was JJ for who did I say? Corey Davis, straight up.
Straight up.
Now he's solid at running back. He's solid at wide receiver. He'd be getting Jay.
He'd be giving up Corey Davis.
And it's a redraft. It's not a
Yeah,
dynasty.
I mean, I like that. I'd take a JA.
Yeah, I think I'm taking, like I said, Davis hasn't showed us anything. He stays banged up. His quarterback stays banged up. Ajayi, yeah, he'll get banged up, but they use him right over there in Philly.
Well, he's got David Johnson and Joe Mixon, so he doesn't. Ajayi would be more of a flex.
Yeah, that's not a bad flex.
You know,
So it's basically, do you want to
Depth.
flex Ajayi or Corey Davis?
pretty
Yeah,
much.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I feel like you
Shit
could
options.
Yeah.
I would look at the scoring. Which one's going to score more points? Which one's the league scoring?
I got you.
Yeah,
Like
I think
PPR.
Ajayi is going to score more points regardless. I mean, Corey Davis would have to go off for several weeks in a row
Yeah.
to even kind of put up that style of numbers, and he hasn't done it yet. So.
I mean, and JJ, I mean, he had a great week last week, and I mean, but
He does
that's
get
but
more opportunity as
yeah,
well.
but he's in a. I mean, the system is working better for him now, and I think he's I think he's going to do good over there. To me, I take the trade. Especially if it's straight up for us, for Dynasty, there's no extra draft picks.
Yeah, we're always trying to squeeze something else in there.
No, man, I want your 7th round pick. What was that?
I have no idea.
We had a bet going on earlier if we catch a bug
Is
or
it Jennifer? Is she spying on us?
yeah, possible.
It's possible.
I know.
She
Dude,
knows
she
y'all
bet-
like to have
She
sex.
better not be listening. But yeah, I'd take that trade. Right on.
That was for you, Wade, right there.
Yep.
Who was it?
Yeah, Wade.
Wade. Hey, Wade.
Wade.
Wade, thanks, man. Keep them coming, buddy. We're here to help you anytime. Hey, you need to. Hey, he also needs to come out to one of our events too.
Yeah, no, it's one of those.
Yeah, we'll let him know. Yeah. Oh, yeah. By the way, all those folks out there, keep in mind, Houston Preeminence October 1st. You know, a lot of good things going on over there, and of course, again, this podcast is brought to you by Grizzly Grease. The grease.
Grizzly Grease.
Put it in your beard, man.
That was good. Thought you were going somewhere else.
I know,
I was
right?
about to say, whoa. I mean, I guess it has multiple.
Yeah, I was wondering.
What are those uses?
Okay.
No, we'll keep rolling. Brian, what do you got, buddy?
Yeah, we're going to move on to a question.
Yes, I have a question. Where else can you put Grizzly Grease? Go ahead, Brian. Sorry, man.
0-1, so I'm guessing he lost week 1.
Oh,
It's a good guess there.
Sorry to hear that.
Running back sucks. Pick 2.
That's probably why he lost.
Royce Freeman versus Oakland. Rex Burkhead versus Jacksonville. God, I just went broke.
Baloo.
Blil Powell, thank you, with versus Miami, or Matt, however you say his last name,
Raider.
versus Detroit.
Ooh.
I know. I'd go Freeman.
Yeah, I'm taking Freeman.
He's got the most potential to score points. He's got probably the most talent of all those guys.
Yeah,
Freeman and Breda.
Yeah.
yeah. I wouldn't. I don't like Burkhead against Jacksonville. I don't
But
like-
then again, you never know. That's one of those he could go
Yeah.
off next week.
yeah.
Well,
See, and
'cause
that's
he's
where
also
James
gonna
White.
get-
James White could have that.
Yeah.
He could go off, and Brett Burkhead's just there holding the bag.
Yeah, but
it's-
Burkhead's going to get the ball thrown to him plenty of times.
Yeah.
Like, he's just
Hey,
Tom Brady's Julian Edelman. when
Greg
he's
is
up.
saying Powell on here. I would say Powell, but the exception of Kroll's on that team right now, and
Yeah.
he's going to get the bulk of the carries. He's the better talent at this point.
Yeah.
That may not be the whole year, but
You need
I have a
another
hard
option.
time. Yeah, I have a hard time with Bilal Powell right now to score me points.
Yeah. I mean,
We know why he's 0-1.
yeah.
If those are his running backs,
Those
he's in
aren't
a
the best.
world.
Please
of
tell
hurt.
me you have IDP with
He's got
Kuechly and Mack and
That, or he's got
Shaw
Ke-
Jones and Watt and every other point scorer out
that, or
there.
he went Kelsey Gronk.
Or accidentally drafted Dustin Hopkins instead of DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
Oh, that would
Dude,
suck.
I had a guy in her league actually do that. No, I'm sorry. That was one of my old leagues. I had a guy do that.
Yeah.
Hopkins was already picked. He didn't realize it. Went to go try to draft him and hit
Dustin Hopkins. Picked him up in the second.
That's what you get for not paying attention.
That's kind of overreaching.
He was thinking that he was getting a steal.
Oh, yeah, dude. He's like sitting over there with his grin, and he's like, DeAndre Hopkins. We're like, he already got drafted. And he's like, well, then who did I just click on?
Hey, Greg, thanks for chiming in on that one too, buddy, man. I gotta agree. I mean, I like Freeman here. I mean, Powell's not a bad option, but I mean, after what Crowell,
I'm sour on Powell. I can't do that.
Yeah. I mean, it could be a breakout week for him, but with Crowell over there doing what he did, I mean, and he may very well be that. Mm-hmm. He may be Darnold's go-to back, in that situation. I mean, the more flexible you are.
What he could hope for to be is the Duke Johnson to Kroll that Duke Johnson was.
Yeah.
If he can find a way to even emulate some of that, he's a factor.
Yeah, I agree with that. 100%. I like that.
110%.
Well, I mean, I'm curious too because there's I guess quarterbacks, it's always tough which one to start. I know I had a guy who was talking about, who should he, Drew Brees went off, but the biggest question was, like Drew Brees and, Matt Ryan. Obviously, I mean, he asked me today about it. And I mean, I like the Brees pick, but, I mean, don't, like we said, don't sleep on Matty Ice. I mean, don't get too scared. At least hang on. If you have Drew Brees and Matt Ryan, you're all right. Your bye weeks are looking good, but. Well, I believe
in Dynasty you might start looking for a quarterback in the next draft or two, though.
Yeah, I might want to go a little bit younger.
Get some Baker
because there's some out there. Well, even going
some
Garoppolo
or Darnold or
Garoppolo. There's some younger ones out there. But all right, well, I think we're getting ready to roll out here. Hopefully, this has been informational for you folks. Everybody that chimed in, yes, Clay.
We haven't really touched on tomorrow's night game a little bit.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of
I
important.
figured we could just do that.
We get so much Pat Homerism with the Ravens. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. It's trying to
I can't believe I skipped.
Your team.
Well, hold on.
Are you even a fan?
You even a fan, bro?
Do you football?
All right, Clay, you brought it up. We've got Cincinnati, Baltimore tomorrow night. It's a divisional game.
Yes.
Should be a good one.
They get after each other when they
do.
play.
That's a tough division. Not because it's usually. I mean, there's a lot of smash mouth. Usually, the Baltimore-Pittsburgh games are always good, man. They're good games to watch, and that division's open up. Cleveland, don't sleep on Cleveland. This year. I'm not saying but they started out this year with a tie, not a loss, so it's a good start.
Damn it, you got to start baby steps. You know.
Well, what do you think about fantasy production over there? Let's go with Cincinnati first.
Cincinnati. The only guys I'm probably really looking at to start on Cincinnati is AJ Green and Joe Mixon.
Agreed.
Unless you're in like a quarterback situation, Dalton's your guy, then obviously you got to start him. Maybe 2-quarterback league, you're starting Dalton. So there's really the only 2 guys from Cincinnati. Maybe some IDP guys over there, but I don't know. I don't think there's gonna be a lot. Like I'm not the biggest fan of starting really Thursday night players unless it's like your studs.
Yeah.
So the same thing for Baltimore. I would start like Alex Collins and C.J. Mosley.
Yeah.
And
at a flex or so, maybe a Willie Snead. Or,
if you got the flex.
IDP, definitely Mosley or Tony Jefferson. Tony Jefferson.
Yeah.
Good week 1.
Yeah, Terrell Suggs if you're.
That I
mean, just that's more of a mention, Terrell Suggs, he's not. He's hit or miss now.
It's just I don't expect a lot of offense
now from a Baltimore defensive disruptive standpoint. Yeah, Terrell Suggs is still in the mix. That's where I've always looked at. At J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt could step up, and I think he's going to be more productive this year. But
he said he knocked the rust off in the first half, and the second half he felt.
Well, he also got his face mask pulled a lot too. But I agree with you guys. And I mean, Thursday night game. It should be. To me, it's a good Thursday night game. It's a good one to throw on a steak, and
nobody cares but you.
Yeah, but what?
It's football. I will be watching.
It's a good divisional game, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's almost like
might not even be the biggest place team in that division. It's a good divisional game.
The 3rd and 4th place
team in that division.
Cleveland
will be second. Steelers will win the division.
That sounds like a bold prediction. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think Steelers. I think it's going to be back. I think it's going to go back to Baltimore and Steelers. They're going to be fighting for the division again.
Homer.
No, I think Cleveland's better than Baltimore.
I do too.
Cincinnati's the only team that, if they performed they have the talent, so they can give you a run, but you just never know what you're really going to get.
They just self-implode way too often.
Yeah. If John Ross comes around, they could have a nice little offense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's definitely.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of potential over there.
Yeah, so I just wanted to touch on that. Like,
Potential.
should be a good
Potential is
game.
the word of the night.
We're gonna
man.
ban that word.
No, we're not.
Potential.
That
No,
guy's
because
got
that's
a lot
what
of untapped ability.
Oh, is that the new one? Untapped ability?
Yeah.
Well, we can roll with that too. That's better.
it's dumb. I
So
don't know.
there's a lot of untapped ability over there in that game.
There's a lot of untapped ability in this room.
Joe Flacco.
There's
does-
nothing untapped about
Are you
Chad.
starting Joe Flacco this week?
Yeah,
I'm not.
that's a given. Well, we're gonna
You can
roll
al-
out
how about this? You can
That-
only start Joe Flacco if you can tell if you know where he went to college.
Maryland.
Delaware.
Maryland.
Delaware. See, look, you're the Ravens fan and don't even know where your quarterback for the last 8-10 years.
Oh,
went to
I thought you were
college.
asking where Baltimore is.
I don't know.
All right. Well, we're ready to roll. I'm not. Where's my Ravens cup? All right. Well,
Trash.
hey, that's Dynasty Wise. Appreciate you guys checking in. Hope you guys had a good time and hope it gave you guys some good information leading
See y'all
into week
Saturday
2 of
morning
fantasy
or
football.
Saturday.
Yeah, it'll be Saturday. We're hoping Saturday morning. That time, there's a few of us that are on call for our other jobs, but we will be there. We actually enjoy those jobs as well. Thank you guys for the employment. We do.
I don't.
Yes, I do.
I do as well. But that's Dynasty Wise. Check us out at DynastyWise.com. Look for Houston Preeminence coming October 1st. Clay, your Twitter handle, sir.
At DynastyWiseClay or at DynastyWise_FF is where you get the whole crew.
And there's also DynastyWise_Joe. He's got some great info as well. I know he helps break some stories as well. And Mr. Chad.
Yeah, I'm at DynastyWise Chad, and I just want to say to everybody who ends up watching this, go win your leagues. And if you need a little help, it's not a bad thing. We've all listened to other people at times in our lives. That's what we're here for.
Yep.
It's always so much better when you win.
Hey,
So,
and also, man, if you guys have questions, send them.
Yeah.
Send the questions, and the quicker you get them to us, the quicker. Honestly, we'll answer you, but we'll also, if you don't want it read on a podcast, you don't want anybody knowing you're getting help. That's fine. Just say, hey guys, don't do it on the podcast. Don't promote it. Publicly.
message
That's
us on
fine.
Twitter or Facebook, and
Yeah.
we'll do
Yeah, I
it.
get
Whatever.
If not, but we like taking your questions and putting them out publicly because there's a lot of players in fantasy that have the same questions that you do. That's why we went through and we saw multiple. A lot of these questions that we had tonight, there were multiple questions. So it's like, hey, we're putting it in the podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for the questions. Thank you guys for the comments and listening. Best of luck in week 2. We'll see you guys Saturday. Anything else, let us know. We're here to help. Dynasty Wise out.
See ya. Yeah. Yeah.
Put it in your beard.